Hello, my name is Dan Ender. This is POS 501 with Professor Romance. The title is Initiatives and Referendums in Arizona. Arizona is truly a state created for its citizens. It reassures us with a very progressive state constitution that gives its people the ability to create and change laws, policies, and amendments. This presentation will discuss how this progressive state accomplished this and how it is still accomplishing this today. The definitions. Definition of initiative process. Okay, initiative process allows citizens to modify their state constitution without relying on the legislators. This gives them the authority to attach, make necessary adjustments, or eliminate parts of the Arizona Constitution or statutes that they deem unfair. The referendum process definition allows Arizona citizens to endorse or oppose any alterations to the Constitution or legislative statutes. This process empowers the people to have their final say on the legislation and gives them the governor's veto power. It's really an excellent example of direct democracy. The creation of initiative. Okay, the first step to creating an initiative is to create or identify a political committee to act as a petition sponsor. The second step is to submit an application for the serial number through the Arizona Secretary of State's office. The third step, make sure to have the correct initiative application from the Arizona Secretary of State's office. The fourth step, make sure anyone who is paid or lives outside Arizona signs up with the Arizona Secretary of State's office before collecting the signatures. The fifth step is to distribute the petitions and collect the signatures of qualified voters. The sixth step is to turn in the completed petitions to the Arizona Secretary of State's office. And the seventh step is once that has all been done, the Secretary of State and the county records will tabulate all the signatures and determine if there's enough to place on the ballot. The creation of the referendum, it's really the same way. So it's the first step is creating a referendum is to create or identify a political committee to act as a petition sponsor. The second step is to submit an application for a serial number through the Arizona Secretary of State's office. The third step, to make sure to have the correct referendum application from the Arizona Secretary of State's office. The fourth step, make sure anyone who is paid or lives outside Arizona signs up with the Arizona Secretary of State's office before collecting signatures. And the fifth step is distribute the petitions and collect the signatures of qualified voters. The sixth step, turn in the completed petitions to the Arizona Secretary of State's office. And the seventh step, and once all the petitions have been turned in, the Secretary of State and the county records will tabulate all the signatures and determine if there's enough to place it on the ballot. Compare and contrast the initiative and a referendum. Initiatives and referendums do help the citizens influence the government, but there are differences between the two. Okay, initiative empowers the people to enact new laws or constitutional amendments. A referendum empowers the people to act or to accept or reject laws passed by the legislator. Initiative gives the people the authority to create a new law or amendment. The referendum empowers the people to veto an existing law. Initiative needs 15% valid signatures to start the constitutional amendment process and 10% valid signatures to start the statutory amendment process. A referendum needs 5% valid signatures to start the process. Initiative must be submitted 4 months before the next election. This date will fall in July, but the day can vary. A referendum must be submitted within 90 days of when the law was passed. Pros and cons of an initiative and a referendum. Initiative advantages. It's a safeguard for people from the actions of the legislators. Empowers people to create more meaningful policy changes beyond what the legislature would have passed. It can generate greater interest in the political process, which can lead to increased participation from its citizens. And states that utilize initiatives have lower taxes, lower government waste, and enhanced economic productivity. The disadvantages of a referendum are its proposed laws can be badly written. They don't have the training, or the people that propose them, they don't have the training as the legislative lawyers do. A lot of complex laws and issues that need to be voted on, so they don't always have the knowledge and the resources to make the meaningful and informed decisions. And majority groups can limit or obstruct the rights of less popular minority groups. So bigger groups can kind of bully the minority groups around because the minority groups just don't have the votes. Referendum advantages. Give the people a voice, and this can help them reconnect with the political process and the roots of democracy. So it gets them voting. Give citizens the governor's veto power, which is really amazing. And influence the government to create laws and policies that better support the people. If they don't do, the people can start the process of the referendum. So it makes them do the job they're supposed to be doing right the first time. Otherwise, if they don't, they'll make more work for them. Okay, disadvantages. It can dilute the authority, the knowledge, and the experience of the elected government representatives. It gives officials a way to make decisions or way out of making decisions on controversial topics. So if there's something they don't want to say yes or no on, they can let the people decide. The people spearheading the referendum do not always have the experience, knowledge, or education to write a referendum. Initiatives, referendums, and direct democracy. Direct democracy gives citizens full authority to create laws and policies implemented by the government. Arizona State's Constitution, Article 4, Part 1 supports this type of government. It grants the people the power of veto through the referendum. This veto power is usually reserved for the governor. It grants Arizona citizens the authority of the initiative. This power allows the people to create laws and amendments that will better impact their lives. These two powers are excellent examples of direct democracy in action. Then here are some examples of Arizona citizens using, well, not referendum, but initiatives. So Arizona Proposition 209, Healthcare Debt Interest Rate Limit and Debt Collection Exemptions Initiative. It was proposed to help people with large medical debts, so a person shouldn't have to go bankrupt to pay for a medical procedure. Arizona Proposition 211, Campaign Finance Sources Disclosure Initiative. This is a proposal that people can see who is trying to influence the political scene. And then Arizona Proposition 126, Prohibit New or Increased Taxes on Services Initiative. This was proposed to reduce the amount of money the people would have to pay for services like salons, pet grooming, real estate transactions, and doctor visits. Okay, my final thoughts. Arizona is a state that gave authority to its people. It did this by allowing them to change and create a state constitution that represents their needs. It is still allowing the citizens to mold the state to their needs. Okay, Arizona has one of the longest state constitutions today because it truly is a living document that grows with and for the people. Right, and here are my sources, and thank you.